So it's officially moose season now, and I'm out here kind of establishing a little footpath that's going to connect two of the trails I like to use when it's moose season. Got my loppers with me. Thought it would be a good time to talk about something not terribly related to moose hunting, and that is oral health. That means your teeth, right? So let's say you're out hunting for hours and hours on end and you've brought snacks, but you didn't bring a toothbrush and you didn't bring mouthwash. Well, guess what? People have been cleaning and maintaining their teeth for thousands and thousands of years before the invention of toothbrushes and mouthwash. And in fact, many studies have shown that these kinds of natural toothbrushes, which we will call, where's my fingers for finger quotes, chew sticks, are just as effective at reducing cavities and having just general comparable overall oral health. Now, keep in mind that these studies mostly focus on a particular kind of tree or stick that's used, which is something that we don't have in this area. So traditionally in North America, two of the species that are used for chew sticks are birch and willow. We've got plenty of that. So I'm going to go ahead and find a birch. Let me flip my view screen around here. Find a birch. I'll use this birch here. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is peel off the bark around the last 3/4 of an inch or so. So let's get to that. All right, so I'm getting the outer and the inner bark off so that it's just the stick here. All right. So I've just eaten my snack and I'm still sitting around looking for a legal bowl. I'm going to start chewing on this and get it soft and fibrous. So you just kind of chew on it till that happens. So I just do it like back in my molars. Just chew it and it's starting to get there. It'll take a minute. But what else am I doing? I'm sitting here looking for a moose, right? I just kind of rotate it. All right, get it from all angles. Twisting up some mustache hairs in the process. After a minute or so, you start to develop a brush, right? This looks like a brush. Keep going, because I want it soft. This also produces saliva, which is also great for your oral health. So, okay, that's probably enough. And you are going to lose some fibers. When you're brushing and you get these little fibers in your mouth, just spit them out. Okay, but your toothbrushing technique is going to be a little different with these. Your head is not 90 degrees from your handle, right? You use this more like you would a pencil or a paintbrush, right? So I can do little circles. Unfortunately, my cheek is flexible enough that I could go straight onto the sides of molars. Having the 90-degree thing on a long toothbrush handle does make it easy to get your molars, but if you kind of practice a little bit, you know, you can really get pretty good at this. I can't believe I'm like literally brushing my teeth on camera. And I would have to go kind of at a similar angle to get the inside of the opposite molars. All right, and I'm just brushing. All right. Same thing for the bumpy sides of teeth and, you know, front teeth. You know, just do your little circles. Get a little bit of gum in there. You don't want to wear your gum away, but you do want your gums to be massaged a little. I don't have the best teeth in the world for showing off, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not really on camera because I'm an attractive person. So that's pretty straightforward. And you just do that until your teeth are done brushing. If you like it, you can hold on to it, use it for another session later. You just have to kind of re-wet it, and you can keep using it. So I came down to the edge of this muskeg to find some willows, because willow is going to be your other kind of toothbrush. There's a little willow, but that one's kind of not looking so good. There's some over there I'm going to maybe make a little toothbrush out of. So now I've got this little willow stick that I haven't chewed on it yet, but I'll go ahead and get that started and talk while I'm chewing like I did earlier. Now, birch and willow are both incredibly useful plants. In fact, you see spruce behind me. I've already shown some uses of spruce. Everything around me is useful in one way or another. Incredibly useful, actually. And so we're always doing stuff with everything that grows around us. I should have trimmed my mustache before doing this video. Anyway, so here's my willow ready to be brushed with. I've got it nice and flexible. But willow might be preferable to birch because it contains salicylic acid, which is aspirin. In fact, if you want to harvest willow bark to make your own aspirin, you can do that. And you make willow bark tea. It's a painkiller, blood thinner, whatever else you need it for. Also useful for toothbrushes, but it can help ease some oral pain if you've got some, because it is an analgesic, also known as a painkiller. And I remember being a teenager, and I had that zit cream, what was it called? Clearasil. And I used to look at it, and I noticed that the active ingredient in Clearasil is salicylic acid. It's amazing stuff. So if I had some zits, I could just rub this willow on it. Actually, no, I wouldn't do it like that. I would take some willow bark and I'd mash it up with some water, make kind of a spread out of it. Anyway, willow is amazing stuff. It grows all over in Alaska, just like all these other plants that I've been making videos about. I started to really get into this idea. I was looking into ways that I could minimize consumption of plastic, because we are all consuming plastic like all the time, and we don't really know what it's doing to our bodies. I really doubt that there are any health benefits to consuming plastic. There's still a lot of research being done on the health effects of microplastics, but the reason I was researching this and starting to get into the toothbrushing thing is that it's easy to get rid of a lot of plastics. Like, okay, it's easy to get rid of using plastic water bottles. It's easy to get like cookware that's like cast iron or stainless steel, and we've done all those things, and that's pretty easy. The one thing that people have the hardest time giving up is their toothbrush. And the bristles are made of nylon, and you're literally like rubbing these nylon bristles around your teeth. And as they degrade, those microplastics are probably making their way into your system. Of course, a lot of it will get spit out. And there are ways of clearing at least some microplastics out of your system, but there's not like a foolproof way to do it. And again, it's a thing that is still being researched. But this seems to be the one way that we can for sure cut down on our microplastic ingestion from our toothbrushes. If you know which trees to use and don't mind peeling the bark off and chewing it and making yourself a little bit of a nature's toothbrush or a chew stick, you could use toothpaste. Well, anyway, as usual, I talk way too long about all these things, but I've got to get back to making some moose hunting trails. So let's get to it. I got to step over this little willow here, and onward we go through the dying fireweed. Bit of a dip off of this log.